Hello and welcome. Look, I finally did my DMC stash. Hello and welcome to Oh Stitch Happens. My name is Levi. I can be found on Instagram as wtfknitting. Without the singing. I live in Central Ohio with my partner and our two dogs, Findle and Grace and Winston Charles. And they're not in here. They don't come in here when I do it in the office, but that's okay. Anyways, I'm here to do a quick little video before we head down to my partner's show, which is White Christmas, so fun. And then we're off to Europe. We're going to go to London and Paris in the middle of August. So that is really exciting. So if you have any suggestions or any places you like to eat, we're staying, I don't remember, I think we're staying near Kensington Palace. We booked it through a AAA and I don't know if they gave us the right spot, but anyways, because we're supposed to be in the West End and it seems like it might be a hike to get there. I don't know. Anyway, welcome back. I have a huge pile here in front of me, some of which I don't know because I've done like whip parades and did you guys see the abandoned whip parade? 3.5 hours long. Stop me now. So anyways, so we're kind of just doing it from there. Hold on one moment. So I have a bunch in front of me. I have some plans that we're going to talk about and some things, and we just got to get to moving. So the first one here is, oh my gosh, have you seen this? This is JetX Designs, and it is the Cherry Magpie. It is done on lipstick by Pinky by Mystic Fabric on a 40 count. There's I did more of this here and I started doing that and I filled in up there of the colors that I needed. That pink ghost, it ghosts even in person. It's whatever. But have you seen the Blueberry and Jay from her? Do I need to start it? No. Do I think it's so darling? Yes, I do. So you never know. This is the bag by Creative Blessings. And that's about it. Okay, so this is my bag that I made for my StitchCon table mates. And I'm not even really sure what's in it. Oh, okay, fun. I've worked on this. This is my sister's sampler. It is Elizabeth Scarra. Oh, I'm not pulling it out. It is on Ledger, 40 count by Bee Stitch Me. I used all of the Gloriana silks that they had a silk pack for it. And here is my progress. So Tasha, Britches Get Stitches, and I are doing this together. But here it is. So I'm doing mine all on the Gloriana silks, and I picked my own fabric. And they were there, and they are both so nice. The one that lives in Oregon, I think, or Washington, actually works for Gloriana. And then the other one is the one I think that does primarily the reproductions. And then there is the name, and then my sister's samplers. They're both so nice. And again, all this fabric, this is the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial. Use it at your own risk. Oh, I fell off. This is Stream by Fiber on a Whim, 40 count. This is the Lola Crow Extraordinary Bird Sow. Okay, so, you know, the whole thing was here. I did Clue 1, some of Clue 1, then when Clue 2 came out, I was gone for Clue 3. I started some Clue 4, and then I just gave up on it. I just said, oh, this is a lot to do. And it is on 40 count Stream by Fiber on a Whim. It is so cute, 1/1 with all the DMCs. That was called, you know, whatever she told me to buy. I listened. This is a plan. This one here, oh, I see, this is what I do. Like, you can't even, this one's called Fetish 1. The Parrots by La Di Da. And there is the photo. I am not doing any of the called for. We were at StitchCon, me, Lisa, and Teresa, I think she's called Patriotic Stitcher on Instagram, decided to, well, they were in there, Jamie and Teresa, and she was convincing Teresa to do it. I said, oh, I'll do it. And then I bought this pack was just randomly beside it, and I said, oh, that would look great. So that's what I bought it for. And I'm doing it on a little bit sassy. From B-Stitch Me. I love this fabric. And I'm doing 8 alphabets a week. And I'll have the top alphabet, other than the big ABCs, done in 3 weeks. And we started this last Sunday. So I've done my 8. I've now got to start my other 8. That can't be right. There's 4 alphabets there. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a row a week. And that one's almost done, but I also got 2 letters down there. I don't know how I'm doing it. I'm delusional most days. So there's that. And I'm just picking whatever we want. It's probably our StitchCon start, because we start one every year. And let's see. Fetish. I have done 305 stitches. I started this. Oh, wait. I have become such a Halloween. Like, I want to start everything Halloween. Like, have you seen, I don't even know who it is. It's the person that's doing the tarot cards. That is, they did this crow. These 2 crow ones, they're called Graveyard Wanderers or something. And there's a woman crow and a male crow, and they're in the graveyard. And oh, can't wait till it gets released in general public, because it was for her Patreon only. But I started Away We Ride. I bought this. I saw it at StitchCon. Someone had it displayed, and I was like, oh, I've always seen it, but I've never like looked at it. It is on 40 Count Heather by PTP, or Picture This Plus, and I bought it from 123 Stitch. I'm doing it on all the called for threads. This actually looks purple here. In real life, it's more of like a bluish, but gosh, if it looks like that, that'd be great, because that's what the picture looked like, purple with this gray stuff. Doing it on all the called for overrides. Currently, I've only used Onyx and that other one, Garden Gate, which if you need Garden Gate, it was available on 123 Stitch. And it said I could buy up to 20 of them. I don't think I need 20, but you know. And I've currently stitched, let's see, Away We Ride. 260, but I think I stitched on it yesterday for 180 or 190. This next one here, I think I've already showed you, but it doesn't matter. It's Joy. I started this as my StitchCon small. I was only going to do the flower basket and coffee overdyes. I have the actual one. I'm going to start with Lisa at some point, but I wanted to do just the pot for a small, like for a needle book. Yeah, it didn't happen, but this is where I am. This is on 40 Count Oaken by PTP, Picture This Plus. I'm doing it 1/1. I'm doing it one thread over 2 linen threads. On all the called for DMC, I just threw them all in coffee. Actually, espresso. Where am I putting all this crap? All right, well, whatever. The Earth Laughs. I brought this with us on the beach, and I don't think I showed you where I got to. I only stitched a few on it. It's a Brenda Gervais. So cute. It is on 40 count maple sugar, vintage maple sugar by Lakeside Linen. And I'm doing it in all the called for. I just got a little bit more of these flowers done. And I did some more there on vacation, but I primarily worked on vacation. I worked on And Heaven and Nature Sing. Oh, this all goes in here. So let's put this away so I don't have a big old mess to clean up when I'm done. I've started I've started a handful of things actually. But if you watch some of my other videos, you've seen some of the starts that I've started. If you haven't, well, that's all right too. I was at StitchCon and she had some of the original ones available at the shop at Keepsakes, and I paid $7.50 for it. I've loved this forever. I'm completely doing something different. It is on a 18 or 16. Well, I'm using 2, so I think it's a 16 or a 14 count. Ada dyed. I want to say this is Fiber on a Whim. It looks very familiar to Fiber on a Whim, but I'm using actually beads for all the snowflakes. And this is typically like done in browns. Obviously you can tell. 2 browns, 2 brown blacks, and this heart's actually an orange, and then white. I'm doing my letters white and red, and then I'm doing those in white, and then I'm doing the deer, and these are my 3 colors. And they're all in Belle Sauce Silk. So cranberry, barrier, patch and heirloom lace. This was a new one this year that came out. And I'm doing it on, I want to say it's like Envy or something from Fiber on a Whim, but I'm not sure. But it doesn't also feel like Fiber on a Whim, so maybe it's not. Could have been something that I dyed a long time ago. I don't know. And I'm also cutting off four things. I'm not doing the whole bottom. So I'm cutting off 4 rows. But there's my deer. That's what the deer looks like in the thing. And then, yeah. So I'm going to try to get this done by Christmas. Oh, I started Lady M with Tasha from Britches Get Stitches. I guess it is the portrait of Lady M. So it's like this. I dyed this fabric myself. It was a 28 count or a 32. Originally it was a 28 or a 32 count Sahara by Zwagart. It's their printed thing. I'll put a picture when I get to it of how I did it, because I actually took a stencil, and you can see the stencil there. And I took yellow marigold, and I put the stencil down and sprayed the stencil with a water bottle with the color in it. And then I also did it in gray, but you can't really see the gray as much as you can in the photo, but you can see it in real life. So as Tasha and I are working on it, we did a sal together. It's called Lady M Debut Sal, I believe. It went on the Salander. But yeah, so if you got it started, it's a lot of fun. I'm currently in her hair. I think it's kind of weird that they use these like brown greens and these like weird brown looking colors in her blonde hair. I'm also going to do, because it is a 32 count, because now I remember, I'm going to do, she has clusters of things here, and I actually got the Petite Silvers to put it on. The Petite Silvers, this Petite Silver Bell beads to put them in her hair, because there's a lot of like clumps together. I also started her little like flare out part. I'm really excited about this one. It is so cute. So I've done her hair, and I've started out that little color, that pop of color right there. Really darling. And then Tasha started hers on Jackson Fabrics. It's really darling as well. I think that's, oh, I got to finish for July. I finished, I think that's on it. I finished Heaven and Nature Sing for Christmas in July. And then I also did a real quick finish on this for Christmas in July. These are the mason jar ornaments from, Christmas jar ornaments from Dimensions. So I finished that one there. So cute. I'll have to put a picture here of when, like, no back stitching versus the back stitching. Oh, so just cute. Oh, and literally it was just a bunch of back stitching and then some random like ninja stitches through the whole thing, and I would have had it finished, but I don't, you know, you never know what happens and why you just move on to greener pasture. But I did. I don't know, shoot. But yeah, so I finished that for Christmas in July, which is really exciting. So then what I did was I looked through, oh, I have a finish. Okay, so Christmas in July, that's a lie. Heaven and Nature Sing was my June finish. This was my Christmas in July finish. Noel by J. Lynn is finished. Okay, here we go. I finished this one, Noel by J. Lynn. Oh my gosh, it's so darling. I finished it just a few days before July, and that's when I picked up the mason jar. And I was like, oh, I'll finish the mason jar too. So we'll do just a slow pan. This is on the 14 or 16 count fabric that I dyed with cherry red and blue jean. Came out too dark, and I bleached it. There it is. It's even got like beads, little beads in there. And then I wanted to show you, I bought this frame a long time ago, and I cleaned it up, and I actually, it was black before I put some varnish on it. Now it's brown, but this is it. It's gonna sit right on top of my mantle for Christmas, and I'm so excited. It's really cute. I just gotta latch it in and do a little trigger thing. I don't have any of those, but I can find them. So it's a little tighter on this side. Again, I don't know. Maybe once I stretch the bottom, it'll afford some room. I don't know, but anyways, here it is. It's so cute. It sits currently on my fireplace. It's so darling. So let's talk about plans here really quickly. So I made a list of all of my projects of the 20 and 25 whips that I wanted to potentially work on and get finished. These are all the ones that are less than 20,000 stitches away, which is not very hard for me to get because I typically stitch about 20,000. In the summer, I only done like 13 or 14 just because of it being busier. But my first one here, and this is my first one that I'm doing, is going to be Mary Amelia. It's called Mary's Birds, but it's Mary Amelia Birds by Quaint Rose Needle Art. It's on 32 count, country, mocha, Lugana. I'm doing the foliage, all this axillary stuff, 1 thread over 2 threads. And I'm doing the bird 2 over 2, so the bird really stands out. And at the time of doing this, I gotta keep this with me, I had 1,982 stitches. I picked up temperature stitching again once I finished Noel and started working on these again. And I think I'm about 1,400 stitches away from a finish. Maybe 15. I'll say 15 because I'm not really sure. But oh my gosh, isn't it so cute? So this is finally going to get a finish. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So I'm doing temperature stitching again just to get some things like motivated, get things some moving again. I am... My first one, which has not been called yet, it used to be Mary Amelia, but I'm going to work on Mary's Birds every day now. So the first one and the 5th one is Put a Bird on It. It has not been called yet since I switched it for August. Here is Ann Thomas. Oh, she's 2. No, she's 4 and 9. But oh my gosh, isn't she so cute? So I've just worked primarily here on the bird, getting the head done, getting the body in, getting some outline. I'm into this outline stuff. So I might figure out what color here is and just kind of outline her because the whole main part of the bird is just one color. And she's been called a lot. I've had to do like 600 stitches. I mean, I'm behind on it, so don't count on that. But currently I've done 212, and then I did some last night and the night before. Because what is today, the 3rd? Yeah, today's the 3rd. So this is on fabric dyed by me. It's a 32 count, originally apricot. I used cherry red and chocolate brown. Did some swirling, and then I dumped some of the brown on top of it after it was done. Pure dye. So that's fine. And she is going to continue on because she, before I've done any stitches, has 14,791 stitches. So I'm trying to get some of these stitches under so that I can make sure by the time the month comes up, I can get it done and not get burnt out. I know how that works with me. So the next one here is What Remains by Blackbird. This is done on the called for fabric, which is 30, mine's 32 count, 30 count straw. I'm doing it in the Vicky Clayton silk conversion. And here's where I am. So I just did the house. The house is the only thing I've done. And what remains is I've done 549 stitches. And I got some to do this. She got called this week. And then I think I finished the bird and I finished the roof and the house, the whole house, like the windows, the roof, the door, this. I messed the door up, but I just scooted it in one. I wasn't going to take anything out. Nobody's going to know. I mean, I just told you, so now you know, but I still got a whole half of a yard. It's enormous. So I'm just working on that until I get it done. And again, I haven't really decided when I'm going. I have like a tentative plan, which is a lie. So before I've done any of them, that had 5,205 stitches. So that's a lot of stitches to get done. I mean, not a lot, but you know what I mean. This one here, Sarah Barker, 1840. So cute. I'm doing this in the Dinky Dyes colorway. I'm doing this in milk and sugar and milk and honey and sugar and cream. Sugar and cream, 18 count by Fiber on a Whim. I'm doing it with one thread over 1/8 square, and I'm doing the Dinky Dyes. And here I am. So cute. I've just brought this down. I had to buy, I have another one of these in my cart. Actually, I need to make sure it's the right one because I have like maybe 2,500 stitches left of this, and it's not going to get me there. So this one here has 6,000 stitches left over. So I'm thinking about this being we're going to Europe for a week. Well, 8 days. And I'm going to start a new start, which I didn't bring because it's digital. I'm going to start okay, so our trip, we were supposed to go from Columbus to New York City, and we had like an 8-hour layover. We were going to, because our luggage would all be checked. And we had, like, if we need anything, you could just put it in the lockers. And then we were going to go into the city and then go to lunch and watch a show and then come back and have enough time to, like, because, you know, if you go, because it was JFK, so you just pop off JFK, pop on the trolley, walk across, I think it's across the street or something, to the subway, and take the subway into the city. It's like a 10-minute ride. Okay, maybe longer than that, but I think it's 10 minutes. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We were going to do that. Then the lady called us back and said, actually, I found a cheaper flight out of it's not Reagan, which is where the plane and the Black Hawk collided. It's in the one that's outside of DC. Dulles, I think, D-U-L-L-E-S, something like that. That's where we're flying out of. Sorry, that was my finger, and I actually hit stop instead of turning it off. But anyway, so we're no longer going out of New York City. We're going out of DC, flying to London, staying in London, taking that Eurostar, or whatever it is, to Paris and hanging out a few days there, and then we're flying home from Paris. But I found the cutest pattern by, I'll put a picture here. It's by Satsuma Street. It's New York, London, and Paris, because we were going to go to New York, New York City, Paris, and London. I was going to do New York, London, and Paris, and start all of them so I knew where they were at in the thing, so I didn't have like a hot mess on trying to figure out things, and like, because, you know, you don't know how it is over an international, because I've never been, so like, I don't know what the lighting situation is going to be. I don't really know how all that's going to work out, so I wanted to make sure that I had everything started so I could just work. But it's going to be really exciting. So we're not going to New York, so I'm just going to do the London and the Paris together. I'm going to butt them together somehow. But anyways, that's not, and I'm going to do it on Ada, so it's easy to stitch on as well and just take from there. Plantation Sampler, 1884 stitchery. She revamped it or whatever. It is done on Mallow, 40 count, 1/1 on all the called for DMCs. I just finished this tree here, and I've actually finished this I finished the top row of alphabets. So that's what I got for you. And I think I finished that one as well. Nope, I got 9 and 0, 9 and 10 to finish. But that's, yeah, we're moving along. And I've committed to myself to doing one thread every time I pick it up of the green, because it's going to be a beast. But yeah, I'm still working on the diagonal on it. I should just cut this down because it's a lot of fabric to work in hand. And it's on Mallow, not my favorite fabric, because I was thinking about maybe bringing this one because it's in hand, but then I also worked on, give me one moment, because I got a few other things I'm missing. Okay, I was watching Pam and Steph, and they were talking about Beatrix Potter's, well, Pam was talking about Beatrix Potter birthday was coming up, and they started some Beatrix Potter thing, but I actually just pulled it out and worked on my Beatrix Potter. I know she didn't do it, her friend made it for her or something along those lines is what the pattern said, but I thought, oh, I'll pull this out and I'll just do it. So it's basically a tone on tone, and I just did 50 or 60 stitches. I did a thread right there and there. Right there in that one. This is so pretty. I dyed this fabric myself with the cherry red, and I did an ombre. So it's light and the dark red. But it's so cute. And I bought the silk on eBay. I talk about it in my whip parade, my abandoned whip parade. So if you're interested in watching that, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. And I went through every single project that I could find on my shelves. So So that was a lot of fun. My StitchCon bag still is not emptied. I need to take this with me to Paris. This here is Nibbles by, I don't remember, but we started this at StitchCon and I got the strawberry done and 2 things and did this right over here. And this is a 14 count, probably a fabric flare. And this is Nibbles, and I don't remember what, but it's cute little mice eating the strawberries. Okay. So I made this bag. This is the ultimate travel bag made out of whatchamacallit fabrics. I'm gonna put that back in there so I know to put it away. This one here, this is the one I made, I did black just to test to see if I even wanted to do. Winston's got so much hair. Ugh. So I just did the black threads. Well, not the black threads, but the navy threads on this one and not the pink to match. But this is on my other 40 count. Other half of my 40 count. Shoot, what is it called? Gosh, I just lost my train of thought. And also, where did my Krynet go? Here we go. This is Maple Sugar by Lakeside Linen, 40 count. I'm doing Disagree, one thread over 2 linen threads. And I'm actually using this pink combo here. Right here. So I think the one I've started with is Garnet. Nope. Clematis. Nope. Whatever. I don't know. So these are the 3-4 threads I'm doing. And I started it with Krynet, the letters. Right there. Oh, you can see it. It's really just quite cute. And then we were in the late night room and somebody was passing out a one of a kind by Color and Cotton. And I'm thinking about maybe switching that one out for this. So this is what will look like instead of having kind of that mousier, I don't know yet. This is still a work in progress. Obviously, I haven't done any of it. But Melissa finished it. And then it was during the auction and I forgot to change the color because this was supposed to be a different color. And I didn't do it. So that's the life we're living. So my next whip is, oh gosh, what is this one? This one here is Elizabeth Stevenson, 1854 by Hats. It is on a 40 count. Victoria Clayton's linen, and it is on Needs Mist. I said needles, but oh well, doesn't matter. Here it is. This fabric is really hard to stitch on, so I stitch on it in hand. I'm doing it 1 DMC over 2 linen threads. That's what I got. I stitched on it a little with Jamie. We stitched on it. She stitched on it and stitched on it, and I went back to my table and behaved myself and stitched on a little bit as well. I got this here from StitchCon as well. 2 old ladies bags. I've actually bought 2 additional bags from her. Ooh, I hope they're here. If not, I'll have to show you in another video. 2 old ladies bags. They're on on Etsy. I just bought the cutest bag from her. It was Tula Pink's Untamed line. I might have to buy it. She has a little tiny pouch one that's probably as big as this, I suspect, in the same fabric. I've been doing some experimenting with bags. And I also have one project that I'm not going to talk about today until it's finished because it's kind of a secret thing I'm doing. I made this for Melissa and my friend Kim. Lesson learned. I have never had a problem with quilting not showing up. Like, you can't even tell it's quilted, but there's like little like cross-looking things. I can't remember what they're called, but also like I've learned too. Well, There you go. See them? There's one there in the middle, and then there's two over here as well. You can't see them. I've always done it where I've just used matching thread, like the background to match, and then this was just too intricate and it got lost. So then I just didn't do this. I just made the rest of them. This was, somebody sent me this. It was a table runner, and I think it was a table runner or maybe a wall hanging quilt, and I just used it all to make us one. So like each fabric is represented. So there was a purple, this was a purple, this was a purple. Yeah, because I only made 3. So I made my friend Kim. So like, see how mine is this pattern here? Kim's was this pattern. So her zipper and her inside was this pattern here. And then Melissa's was this pattern, like this pattern right here was her insides. And then everything else looked the same. And then, no, Melissa's wasn't, because I ran out of the fabric. So I did hers, I don't remember what part I did of hers. I did this cat, this is a cat pattern here. I did something with hers and cat, maybe that one there. I can't remember. But something of hers has cat on it. And I think it's this, because I ran out of this fabric. But anyways, so I then did, which I would never do again, but I did the binding, I did 4-inch things and just did the binding all the way around. And then I did that flange border again, because that was the easiest to do with this crap idea of doing patchwork sides, because that was hard. That was far too hard. Then I made this one bag, and I gave Melissa one, and then I gave my friend Kim, was her birthday, and I missed it somehow. I didn't know it was her birthday, maybe. I don't know, but it was during StitchCon weekend or something, and she sent us a text, and I didn't get the text. I didn't even know it was her birthday. Terrible friend. So I made this Christmas bag that I'll put here, and I gave one to Melissa, and then Kim said she loved it, so I sent it off to her. I said, oh, how nice. So this is another bag I made. This is an all Michaels. This is not a Michaels fabric. This is a discontinued coffer fabric, facet fabric. And then this is a whatchamacallit fabric from Joann's. Michaels. This was a UK pattern, and you can definitely tell that it was a UK pattern because she said a waddle of cotton, which means like batting. And you could tell also that it was because they use A4 print paper there, and we use 8x10 here, or 8x11, or whatever we do use. So like some of the things you needed to make this did not match up because they use A4 and we use 8x10 or 8x11, 8.5x11. So I just went on to buy Annie's. She has this like little circle thing here because that's all you need. You just need circles. And she's an American company, so she uses an 8x10, so the circle size comes up appropriately. But anyway, so I got lazy and I didn't want to, I was at work and I wanted to work on some bags, but I wanted to quilt this. And I said, I don't have time. So actually you can see the quilting has lines there. So I just actually quilted on top of the lines. So I made this bag. It was hard as shit. It was so hard. I literally, every 5 minutes, I was ready to throw it in the burn pile. It was so hard. This here was so fiddly, just this little tiny gusset here to attach because you have to do the binding on the inside. So you bind it. And then also she didn't really tell you what side to like put the machine. Like, okay, for example, like if you wanted it to be nice and neat like this side, you had to make sure that your front pattern, you would have to put it like this, and she didn't tell you to put like the inside of the front on the right, on the bed, the bed of the machine. That was the only thing, and I didn't really pay any attention. And then also here, I wanted it to fit an 11x11 Q-snap, so I made it 11 and I made it 12x12, and then quilted it. And I should have, and I knew this. I acted like an amateur sewist on this. I should have made a large piece and then cut it down to the size I wanted it instead of cutting it down to size and then quilting it. Especially with all these thin quilt lines here, I knew that it would suck it in, and it sucked it into an 11 and a half-ish size. So I should have, if I did it again, I would cut it to 12 and a half, and then by the time you quilt all of it, it'll be down to your 11 and a half. size that's appropriate for your, well, actually I would probably want the finishing size here to be an 11.5 because you got to think about the Q-snaps, an 11 by 11, and then you got all that extra fabric. So I really should have probably cut it at about 14 inch to make it fit generously, but it's so nice. And I have an 8.5 by an 11 in here. This is my Legend of Freya by whatchamacallit. I don't have any of the things started. I just have my fabric on a snap and ready to go. And waiting for Melissa to get her fabric done. And I want to say, Tasha said she's going to start it with us. So, but I hated this bag. I love it. Like, I love the end result. I think it's really darling. Also, like, she was afraid of using interfacing on anything. And she didn't tell you what type of interfacing to use. So I used Peloton Flex Foam, 2-sided, that I use for everything else. Did that, used decorator weight, interfacing for all of this. I also did it for the thing. I wish I would have quilted the also just to put lines in, the pocket to keep it together. So that wouldn't have been a problem because it's kind of like a little bit weird because like the fabric is only sewn down on the sides and at the bottom and it kind of is doing a little bunchy business. Because I used interfacing that was only one-sided instead of two-sided, which I should have used. The one thing I did love is, like, this interfacing here just flipped over and made its own binding. I did love that about it. These handles are done by me. She had you actually put them in the seam. I hate handles like that, so I put the handles, just sewed them in. This one's jacked up, so let's look at this one. So I just sewed them with an X and a square on the front and back of the bag. And I think that's about all I have. And it's so darling. And I got 2 bags. I found them. I did bring them in. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I love both of them, actually. 2 old ladies' bags. 2 old lady bags. This is actually Pam's sister Lisa and her mom Pat. They make these quilted bags. They're nice and big. Lady Mirabilia's stuff was in this one, but I took it out because it was kind of making it a little funky to show on here. She uses like a nice white cotton looking. Oh. Thank you for your purchase. Oh, here you go. Here you go. There is their Etsy site. Oh, why is it not? There we go. That's their Etsy site. I'll link them down below. 2oldladybags.etsy.com. So cute. But here's this one. This was my Tula Pink Untamed. And she has a little handheld one, a little tiny one that I believe is probably the same size as this. Which would be really cute together. I'm gonna have to get it before you all can. But you know, I'm a loser and I take forever to edit these. But anyways, here it is. And this is my favorite line. I literally could make this bag. I believe I have the jelly roll. If not, I have a yard of every one of the fabrics in this line. This one. This is Lady the Flag's bag, or sorry, Lady M's bag. I put all of her crap in it, but I wanted to make it look nice, so I took it out because it was like, you know how bags get when you put stuff in it. So I just gave it a little press and we're back in business. So it all comes, she always does just a solid back, match coordinating zippers. I'm kind of shocked she doesn't use zipper tape. This one has a very similar inside, just the light. Oh, that one has a card in it. Oh, that's just a business card. This one's like a white on white print. And then the backs are just a plain, I guess maybe that she does it so it matches. Maybe it matches the zipper. Yeah, kind of. This one just matches the vibe. Kind of wish they were just quilted, but they're nice. They're so sweet. They're so cute. So yeah, so I bought 2 bags from her. I'll link her down below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Again, we're going to London and Paris in mid-August. So if you have any, like, if you've been to London, if you have any advice, or if you have any place that we should go see that you're like, oh, it's so, like, other than like the normal, like the Louvre and the Big Ben and the, it's actually, I didn't know this. Did you guys know the Big Ben is actually just the bell? It's called Queen Something's Tower. It's not the, Big Ben is the bell. It's not the tower. I didn't know that. I've always got a Big Ben and it's not. Anyway, so if you have any suggestions, Paris, we're going to stay, I don't remember where we're staying in Paris because I'm not really that familiar. Like, I don't know if Paris has boroughs like New York does, but I I would say London has boroughs too, because like there's certain like areas where you go around like London proper. But we're staying, I don't know where we're staying in Paris. All I know is we're staying in Kensington, near Kensington Palace in London. So if you have any suggestions in either place, I would be excited to hear from you. So drop them down below, or send me a message on Instagram, or send me an email. That's linked down below. And then also, so these are my things. So if you have any one that you think I should work on to finish in August as well, I know Mary Amelia Birds is going to be the first one to get done. And then I was thinking maybe Sarah Barker, but then I thought, oh, September, sampler September, I could, but I have a few samplers on here, like Ann Thomas, I have Plantation, I have Sarah Barker. I would consider What Remains. So I may try to get What Remains done this month, maybe. So if you have a suggestion on any of these that you'd like to see me work on and finish hopefully in August, other than Mary Birds, let me know. So the ones I have on this list: Plantation, Sarah Barker, What Remains. Santa Stops Here is that Jordan. Sorry, why do I want to call her Jordan? Brenda Gervais. I have Sweet Pea. I'm going to do that for November. It's a fairy that I made for my mom. Ann Thomas, and then put a bird on it. So if you have any suggestions on any of this, let me know for sure. If you have any like things you want to see me work on. Also, in the Abandoned Whip Parade, if you haven't watched that, it's actually quite amazing. I've watched it a few times myself just to like make notes down on what I want to work on in 2026. But if you have anything specifically in that work, because I'm looking to get like kind of the community poll here on what I should work on in 2026. If you haven't seen it, go over and watch it. It's really fun. It's very long, so you'll have to watch it in like chunks. But if you see a pattern that really like sparks your interest, or you think, oh, he's really excited about that, because sometimes when you watch yourself, you don't really think that you got that excited. But if you see something in there that you want me to work on in 2026, right, put a comment down in that video, because I'm dashing it out. I don't have it here with me because it's in my I was doing it in my living room last night, adding some dashes. But if you see any in that video, put it down below in that video, and then I'll tally it up, and we'll see what we're going to work on in 2026. So thank you all so much. Again, if you have any traveling suggestions for London or Paris, put those down below, or send me an email, or send me an Instagram message. I'm WTF Knitting, and then my email is WTFknitting. Oh, it's linked down below. I think it's wtfknittingpodcast@gmail.com, or just wtfknitting@gmail.com. I can't remember, but it's linked down below. So if you have any suggestions for London or Paris, please let me know. We're really excited. It'll be my first time overseas. Same with my partner. Anyways, I gotta go. Thanks so much. Bye.